I really need to get more memory for the system though. I keep running closer and closer to max more commonly now, the longer I have this system up and running. It's a little frustrating. But, let's see. Be bad if my client just freaking crashed though. I've never seen this window before. It's not a good sign. Okay, my launcher all fucked up. How did that happen? Take two. For some reason, even my launcher wouldn't load. What the hell is going on with this? That was really weird. I've never seen that window before ever. Don't tell me this isn't gonna load right now. I'm at like loading screen and it's not bringing up the verification code. What is going on right now? Server is currently undergoing maintenance. Hold up. And we're back.
depictions in my head telling me no, you're the one I wanted long ago. You taught me much about love, but I had to start somewhere. Look at what I can do. Take my fingers in the middle of you, rip your heart out. Look at what I can do. Never look back or relive. So you say I'm not the one. That's okay, you're fine. So you say I'm not the one. Just leave me alone. So you say I'm not the one. Stop saying me alone. Left side. Go inside. You realize now life when things are what about my hopes? All you did was fill them with leave sticks and stones. Left me wanting more. My dark horse, I drink what dying for. I can't pretend anymore. I'm not now. Secondly, you move too slow. I've got depictions in my head telling me no, you're the one I wanted long ago. You taught me much about love, but I had to start somewhere. Look at what I can do. Take my fingers in the middle of you, rip your heart out. Look at what I can do. Never look back or relive. So you say I'm not the one. That's okay, you're fine. So you say I'm not the one. Just leave me alone. So you say I'm not the one. Stop saying me alone. Left side. Go inside. You realize now life when things are good.
I did not mean to do what I just did. I just used my XP bonus thing by accident. Like, so on autopilot when it comes to this stuff now. There you go.
I was like talking to myself the whole entire time.
That's okay. I did invite you to the spreadsheet, but I'll send you the link for it anyways.
Alright. So what has been going on with the? Well, first of all, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. So as you already knew, I was running the new VT2 raid on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I know you were gonna be away for like what 8-ish weeks, and Itch was like, yeah, I'm going on hiatus, so see ya. So I was like, great. So I felt bad for the people that were in raid that didn't have other raids. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna actually try to remake the raid and try to go ahead and actually try to keep this raid running and see if we can, make shift something or other. So I basically threw a bunch of people together and have tried to get it to work, and it hasn't been too bad. But the main issue is CA doesn't really have anyone that wants to do VT. So as far as it being a VT raid, it's kind of a stretch at this point. So I don't know what to make of that at the moment.
During the 7 weeks, you have been having full parties, or let me ask this.
Yep.
These are since you said not a lot of CA people are doing it.
Yeah.
These are from other clans and everything.
Yeah, various clans. Yep. So basically, if you look at this list and you looked at, from here, these two and these two. So those 4 people are basically alts for my other raid. So I basically double dipped and took people that I had already picked to do one of my raids and just grabbed alts from those people to join this raid. And then, actually, it's 5 of them. So it's 5 of them that's true with. Everyone, about 6 people were people that were originally in the R1 raid that have basically been carried over into the current raid. And then one of the people that's on there is actually someone that's one of my stream viewers. That he needed a raid, he had the gear, and I said, what the hell? So I let him join.
Alright.
But I think in general, one of the issues is that I think we're pretty strongly alt-based, which is not great, because if you have alts, then you can't really get raid progression, because people are not actively gearing those characters all the time. So that sucks. So that's not necessarily true for me. So I've actually been gearing my Soul Fighter. So, and at one point, I think my Destroyer's gear and my Soul Fighter's gear was actually comparable. So damage-wise, I'm not worried about me. I'm just worried about the rest of the raid. So I think at this point, I've been looking for static people for weeks upon weeks upon weeks now. And I've basically been filling week to week with people that I thought could fill roles or add, some DPS or what have you, to the group. But so there's still people that are, I think, on the current roster that I could probably swap it out for other people. Because I know like Caribou does 5 different raids because he has so many different characters, just like I do. And then Chobol's the same way. He has a bunch of different raids that he does with a bunch of different people. Tari right now only logs 4 raid. He doesn't play the game otherwise. and I don't know what to make of that. Because he likes raiding with us, but if he doesn't like Blade and Soul, then I'm not sure what to make of it. So.
Alright, well, I guess the issue is just trying to find people who
actually want to run content and improve and upgrade, and that's been the hard part, because I've basically been jumping clan to clan just to see if there's any clan that either is having a learning group that they're trying to learn the VT content, or maybe there's a carryover of people that still want to do it but just don't have a group. So I've been doing that for weeks now.
Much of a pickup for, because if we're still in the learning phase section of it,
yeah,
which we're probably most likely, you would expect a lot more people to join VT, because let's face it, it's not like you could easily get a VT group.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think the problem with CA specifically is that they're kind of all outgrown VT. and like CA hasn't been doing like any sort of recruitment for like lower level players, so we don't have like a pool of players to pick from. So pretty much I've been having to go outside of CA to try and get people to join Raid. Like I've been going to Crimson Unity, I've been going to Hailfire, I've been going to Rain, been going to a bunch of these other clans just to see like if there's anyone that still needs a raid or has alts which need raids and whatnot. But that's still very hit or miss right now.
And it can't because the I mean, sad to say, since I just completely returned, I wouldn't have anyone except for people that.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I think my question for you is like, what do you want to make of it? Because I tried to salvage what was there. There were people that basically said, "Hey, I don't really want to raid right now until I get like whatever," and then some of them have left game, some of them have gone off to do other things. So, and I mean, really, when you guys left, we only had about 7 people or so for raid even then.
Well,
So,
I mean, all right. So I like I can't really say much of it until I start rating again on Thursday. But
yeah.
you said that like approximately like 5 people are alts, and one person like and
Sounds
certain
right.
people would like to break with us, but they don't really play the game.
There,
I mean,
so that statement's true for. I think it's just Tari. I think Tari is the only one that is raiding. Well, I have a person like that in both my raids, but you don't have to do with my other raid. But yeah,
because
I
I
think
don't want you. I don't want it to be like this. I don't want this raid to be one of those things where it's a must. If
no, I
people,
completely
if,
agree.
if I mean, if people actually have needs for this raid, which
Yep.
if I was to look, um, wait, but all right, let me ask this:
Yep.
besides you, me,
Mm-hmm.
Fort, and Exile now, who's like new to the raid completely?
So Shatter is new to the raid, but he's not new to the game. He's actually, I would say like an actual whale. Like his BD's in my other raid that's just happened recently. But like his gunner's not very geared, but he has all the whale gems, so he actually does decent DPS. Just kind of weird.
Hmm. And and that's pretty much it. Everyone else is alts and veterans of BT.
Yeah, I think so. Rias is new to VT, still learning, but he's picked up mechs rather quickly. 'Cause he watches my stream all the time for VTs and whatnot. But yeah, I think everybody else is some level of VT experience, especially because most of them run multiple raids with different characters.
Well, that's okay. So the issue I'm seeing is that he's new to the raid, and because pretty much my suggestion. Well,
Yeah.
once I'm actually viewing Thursday's raid,
Mm-hmm.
um, was because let's face it, if it's already people that don't really need anything and everything
Mm-hmm.
else is alts,
Yeah.
we should just try to get whatever we have for your Tuesday raid to your. Well, you don't have any. Do you? Your Tuesday raid is normally full, right?
So up until recently, I had 2 holes that I had to fill for static members.
Mm-hmm.
I think as of right now, I've actually filled both. So that's the good news.
All right.
the so I think one of my statements is depending on what we want to do. New VT1 right now is struggling to get people because of holidays and school, and people just are not available to raid. And I think most of the people that are in that group don't need VT, but they'd still run it. but they normally get like 7 people, and then they're trying to like throw together like the last few people to actually do anything. So they're struggling week in and week out for like a month and a half plus now.
Yeah, that is because of course probably know what I'm thinking. Thursday should just be Thursday raids. It's been on a dying streak when I left.
Well, yeah, because R2 died. Really, only Fort was the only one that was a carryover from R2. R1 went from having 12 people to having about half of that. And I think of the R1 people who were originally in R1, we're pretty much down to almost you and I. It's pretty much the summary of that. So, well, I guess with Succubus in there as well, I would say that's he was also one of the original ones as well. So that's 3 of us.
Actually, I didn't think that Fort was going to use his blade dancer. I could have sworn he was going Warden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah, I do really want the raid to be going for this Thursday. I'll definitely be there. But however, if it's one of those cases where we have people that really don't need anything, or we just have alts, unless people want more money from their alts to transfer to their main, I guess that's a.
Well, I think there are a number of people like myself that are trying to gear alts as VT alternative characters, and that's what I'm doing with most of my characters. Like I have 4 characters right now that are geared for VT, and I can basically play 7 of them right now gear-wise for VT.
Oh, damn, I can't even. I don't only keep track of 1.
It's okay. But like I can basically say right now that I have 2 mains, my Soul Fighter and my Destroyer. My Destroyer I actually have better gear on right now, but they both DPS upwards of 500k, so it's not bad. And I think some of the other people that are in raid, like so like Washi is really only in raid to help us. Like she doesn't need anything from VT. I think Succubus is okay with running because I think like that's basically the character that he's trying to run TT with. So he's still trying to run the VT content and whatnot to still get gear. And then like there's a few people in there that like Sumbits and Karu that only have a couple alts. So really like they're leveling their main, but they're also leveling like this like secondary alt basically. And then there's other people like Caribou and Chobel and myself who have a shit ton of characters, and we just play all of them all the time. And like Chobel runs, I think like and Caribou both run like 5+ VTs a week.
Holy shit!
Over various characters, so that's why it's kind of a mixed bag. Like I definitely agree that it would be nice to have people that were on their mains that were coming to VT for that one day, and like that's what they had to look forward to, type thing. Versus, oh yeah, I run 4 other VTs, and yeah, I may or may not take today off to do a raid. Like I don't have that issue right now, but I mean I definitely see that from having multiple characters standpoint. Like that could definitely happen.
Well, I mean, if they really want to, I guess the thing is, if they really want to bring their alts just for some sort of thing, that I guess it's still fine. That means you don't have to actually disband Thursdays for VT rate.
Yeah,
I thought it was one of those things where pretty much like they're just bringing their alts just to help out. I guess Walshy is the only one that's pretty much.
So yeah, I mean Washi's there to definitely help out. I think Caribou could be someone who you could replace because at the time he was more of like a body versus like a legit person to come to raid with. Just because like the character who he has brought to raid is not like super geared. I mean A3, but that's about it. So I would say both of them are probably replaceable. I mean, I honestly would try to talk to Tari to see like if he still wants to keep playing, because when you only play for the raid every week, like there's no progression. So like, what do you where do you draw the line?
I mean, well, once you reach to VT and already got everything from that, unless you're going to really try to go to the TT area, or I don't know, like do other stuff in the game.
Hmm.
Pointless.
Because
But it's
his
like I just started doing my other dungeons recently because I
okay.
actually need to catch up.
Slacker. But no, that's okay. So yeah, so I think there's definitely within the group of people that we have, I would say there's probably 3 or 4 that we could probably replace. Like it would be nice to replace them with like dedicated people, but we'd have to find those people first. I think that's the hard part.
Yeah, because I was asked a question of my return if I still did BT. However, I already know these people, and they just want to
Carrie?
not carry more lines of I know they're gonna go to one BT and then stop.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. I've been screening for you, so don't don't feel bad. Yeah.
like,
No, but that's a legit issue. I've actually not accepted people to join raid because of their raid mentality. It's been really freaking annoying trying to deal with all these raids. Like there are also other raids that I actually help out with. Like I bring some of my alts to those raids and help them with mechs and whatnot, so that they can actually learn the content, even though they're not CA raids. Um,
I should just like God, I didn't want you to struggle. Like I honestly thought, you know what am I thinking about that? I knew Itch was gonna stay with.
No, Itch was like, fuck that shit. I had like I don't like he didn't have time before. You think he was gonna have time to do all the effort that I had to go through to get like some type of a raid to run? Yeah, no freaking way. And I mean, his ping is god awful right now. I don't know what happened in his life, like if he moved or something, but his ping is absolute garbo.
Yeah,
Like he still has crazy gear and he can still do crazy damage, but his ping is like a huge liability. And he's been running with new VT2 on Sundays, which they're this week they're running on Tuesday, but um, he's been running with that group, and I've actually been running on an alt with that group because they can't freaking field the full group, but they have enough DPS in their core like 7 or 8 players to be able to still do the content. It's so freaking stupid.
Oh, speaking of how the dungeon itself, I was hearing rumors that
Hive
something
Queen.
was wrong with VT recently.
There are several things that are quote unquote wrong. So, not last week, but the week before, they had a patch where they were supposed to be making VT easier. They did everything but. I think the only thing which was made easier was the Acromor's mini boss, where the middle like animation doesn't auto kill. It doesn't auto kill you now. The puddles actually do less damage. Um, but besides that, like the mini thrall boss, you can't chill anymore, at least effectively, because he still teleports all over the place. So that's probably not an issue for some groups, but it's going to be an issue with most. Like we have to actually develop a new tactic to deal with that, and
Then we have the
it's still
tactic just to
annoying.
like
But
then we didn't for a while we didn't chill our boss. We just DPS it down.
yeah, so like right now we've been doing it where we rearrange the parties so that most of our DPS is in one of the parties. The other party basically just DPSs the boss the entire time, and then those other 6 people DPS all the thralls, and then call out positions and whatnot. And that hasn't been bad. And I mean, you can still chill the boss, so like he won't run around, but he will still teleport. So you still have to be careful about positioning and who has threat and where it's been like where they are and whatnot. So that still sucks. The first boss was supposed to become easier because supposedly there's a couple changes. So the first change is that they should be able to accept 5 orbs instead of 3.
Yes,
I
yes,
kind of say that's very troll-ish. You really shouldn't miss any. But anywho, there's that one, and then the other one is if you share the opposite color orb with like keeper, healer, whoever, it doesn't auto kill them, it just resets their stacks. So that can be really, really bad if you don't have that many orbs left, but it's not. It's better than it was, though.
All right. And then this is the kicker. What about the final boss
Fucking
with the
Hive Queen
bugs?
fucking bug, which... So right now, the Hive Queen bug is killing learning groups right now. So I'll explain how it works, and then you can tell me what you think about it.
All right.
So right now, so Bug Bomb's back, but not the way it should be. So I'll explain how it works, and then you can probably say that you've probably heard it before.
All right.
So basically, you go through the KD of the boss. He goes through either the run or the droll animation. He goes to his new position. He does the half field mech. He does the spray, and then he does the squat animation for the infestation. So the infestation does cause bug bomb. However, it's not placed on any particular player. It's just placed on the middle area. So if you looked at all the concentric circles that are at the middle of the arena, you'll basically see that there's almost like this black cobwebby material between like the inner blue circle and the outermost circle. So after about 10 seconds after the infestation animation, the middle explodes and anyone that's in any of those circles dies immediately. And unfortunately, because it's 10 seconds, by the time turrets potentially could go back into mid, you have to do another KD. So there's really no point in the turrets going back to mid to get another damage debuff. So basically, for the second half of the fight, you're basically without turret bonus DPS.
Okay.
So all these learning groups are getting cucked because they don't have enough DPS to actually beat the lasers as far as speed, even if they do a stun and all KDs on that last phase.
All right. So pretty much. Wait, hold on. Okay. So I remember the old bug bombs.
Yep.
And pretty much when someone gets affected, you, of course you can't tell, but the only way you can tell is if someone has aggro. So they removed that.
Yeah, like it doesn't work like that right now, which is really freaking weird.
Oh,
And yeah, so yeah, because of that, like I ran with that Thursday raid last week, and we could only get the boss to 24% with perfect mechs because we just didn't have enough damage to actually drill it all the way down. And I mean, you can blame that on the alt issue, whatever, but we just didn't have enough DPS to do it. I mean, if we had turrets, I think that group is totally capable of doing it. It's just kind of sad overall.
That's okay. So, well, I actually want to experiment with that then because
Yeah, go
I'm
for
like,
well, because I was in several raids before I actually got to like the third raid, and I was like, oh, because I ran it on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So by the time I got to Thursday, I'd done enough experimenting to go, okay, yeah, that's definitely not it. So I'm pretty sure I've verified that no one in mid actually gets a debuff, first of all. And then I've pretty much guaranteed that if you're in any of the circles that are in mid, you automatically die. Because there was one time where Info was attacking the boss, but he had like a foot in that circle, and he insta-died, and everyone was like, oh, who fucking shared? And I was like, no. But I didn't figure out until days later in my next raid about how that actually worked. But yeah, it's completely bugged, and I don't know if there's a way around it. And it really, really sucks for most of these groups. Like, unless you have a whale group and can do all stuns even, it's very difficult to come back from that.
they have to figure it out and say that. All right, there's got to be some sort of post that someone said that pretty much said this is fucked up.
You'd think so, because you basically took one of the end game raids and made the last boss not completable. And the dumbest part is that this current event is raid based. There's extra benefits for completing different bosses of different raids. And because Hive Queen isn't even completable, people are not getting the boxes for that boss that actually need to gear up their characters. So everyone's getting super wrecked by this event. I just don't understand like what the hell they were thinking. Like, oh, we had an issue this week, hot fix, the next patch day, whatever, but they didn't even do that. And I still don't even know if it's fixed. I mean, I'll have to find out, not this Tuesday, but maybe for Thursday. Like, pray that they do something on Wednesday about it, because I definitely know that the bug's still there, because I tried to run raid last Thursday and it was still shit.
Shit. Well, that helps. I was gonna say, well, at least the mats and oh wait, never mind.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, at least we have the mats in the marketplace. Oh wait, we need those damn hearts.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah, because you need hearts for everything, and I mean, so I actually was nice about everything. So originally, my destroyer was in the Thursday raid, and then I realized that I needed another grab in my other raid, so I moved my destroyer over to the other raid, and I put my soul fighter in the Thursday raid. It actually makes sense now too, because my Tuesday raid already has a soul fighter for boss 1, and the Thursday raid did not. So I was able to pull my soul fighter into that raid. But now, because this whole Hive Queen issue and loss of tanks and whatnot, I'm back to screwed because I want to gear up that character, but I can't get the hearts to upgrade. So I basically stalled out on that character because I can't get the resources I need because we can't frickin' finish Hive Queen with all this frickin' crap going on. So
they better have some sort of fix to it or something like that.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'll be there just to see it. If it's based on the DPS.
Yeah, rip.
I'm not saying John is different, but
yeah, it's just kind of crazy because. So, like, in theory, you can drive closer to mid and maybe still do it, but because of how the bug bomb is working, you put everyone at risk of dying by stepping too close to the right towards where mid is. That's exactly what happened in our new VT1 raid that happened a couple Sundays ago. Because info got freaking destroyed. Same with Itch and everybody.
So, alright, there was one more question I needed to ask.
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to bring bad news. It's just that raid's been very kind of frantic. Just fill it every week, just to try to have people to run one.
Honestly, I was really surprised that I was still alive. We managed this. Well, I would have just asked you to spam the pig. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of how it was. I think that's actually what my concern was. And originally, like the week that you guys had basically said, hey, this is the last week. I had talked with Judah at the time, and we had said, hey, I really don't want this raid to die. Like, I still want to keep the players in it raiding, because if we don't, we probably won't have a Thursday raid. That's pretty much bar none probably how it's going to be, because Itch was like, oh no, we're just going to be on hiatus and we'll be right back at it. I'm like, that's not how any of these games work. Like, I'm sorry, I've played way too many games to be that naive about how these games work and how raids work in general. So I'm like, there's no way it's going to happen. So we had basically, in a matter of about 3 hours, had rebooted the roster to attempt the raid that following week. And that was a hack and a half to try to get that to work, but it wasn't. It was very haphazard, last minute type thing, but I did enjoy it though. Just the unfortunate part was because of how I tried to rebuild the raid. I didn't necessarily get like the best people, multi-character and whatnot, into that raid. So that's the only real downfall to it. I have no questions about the people, like the players behind the characters, right? Like I have a lot of faith in that they all know the actual mechanics, and just a question of, at that point, of gear. Do they have the gear to actually run the content to the completion level which we need to run it? So if you want to take some time with me to look at some of the characters' gear and just do a yay or nay, and see if we want to try to find other people for statics, you know, as we go here. So I have no issues supporting the recruitment effort. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've been doing for my Tuesday raid, I've tried to sprinkle into the Thursday raid too, to make sure that, you know, we have fill lists available of people that don't want to do statics but maybe available for fills. Maybe not every week, but, you know, every other, whatever, what have you. So I've been trying to make sure that you guys have that too, so if and when you did come back, you weren't like saying like, hey, we have like 3 people for this raid. Figure it out. I wasn't that bad.
Well, I just want to, again, when it comes to this Thursday, I will see what's up, because I need to actually, like, because I'm still trying to be. I'm still amazed that you were able to keep. Well,
I'm extremely stubborn. You should know that first and foremost. So I wouldn't say anything is too surprising. It's just the amount of pain that I'm willing to go through to get something to work. So I didn't have any issues with it, and like I think part of me was like, geez, such a good guy, and like he's been running this raid. I mean, and you know, maybe we were losing people and like we weren't filling, but like we would still have it and still try to run it, right? I was like, I felt some type of like guilt of not having the raid, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead, bite the bullet, and just try to organize both and see what that was gonna take.
I didn't want you to go insane with this.
There's like a moral clause in my contract that says can't make G mad, and also can't destroy what G made.
I didn't even make this. I was just telling them this.
Well, I think that was the irony for the longest time, was that I looked at Itch as the leader, and like you asked him to do any leader stuff, and he's like, "Oh, G's the leader." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Got shoved on it.
What the fuck?
I pretty much had that thing too, where I just didn't want the raid to die, because I think people still need it. Crap.
No, I had the same mindset. I mean, that's the reason why I kind of put that raid together in the first place. I mean, that's why Itch also jumped ship, I think, too. So, it might. So I don't know if it's worth it or not. I think it depends on your perspective, like what people you want in raid. But with the new VT2 raid being kind of like 7 or 8 people, give or take, with like potential fills and people that don't have time, I don't know if it makes sense to like merge it or what have you. I think days of the week would probably be the problem at that point. But
honestly, this whole time I just wanted like when we were having that discussion, I think weeks before I left, there was some sort of issue. There was some sort of thing that we wanted to merge it, but wasn't the issue where some people can't even make it on Tuesday? No, it was just Intura that had that issue.
I think, well, I definitely do think that switching days of the week would be a problem. I can probably almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
I mean that's why I kept I call it the R1 reboot raid. Same time, same day, so I didn't have to worry about people that had made it before that couldn't make it now because I changed days of the week.
Yeah, but then again, you did say that Tuesdays always almost fold up. So, and unless everyone except for 1 or 2 people want to join Tuesday, I think.
I mean, I think right now, because basically I had 1 person leave Blade and Soul entirely, who was a former CA member, and also was one of my stronger static members. And then I lost my tank to TT progression. So I've lost 2 key players that I just in the last week filled for. So I think that raid's pretty much where it needs to be, and I do have like an actual fill roster that I think will be reliable now. Now that I've rebuilt it like 4 times over the entire history of that raid. This has been painful as fuck.
And there's always the tanks leave first.
Yeah, well, like, I think my biggest frustration is that I spent so much time training the tanks for the different mechs and, like, what to do and, like, what skills to use and when to use them. Then they leave the raid, and I'm like, fuck, now I have to do this all over again with someone else. And as I have Succubus right now posting and one of the other he's DMing me saying, "Hey, if you're the tank, you'll never be without a tank," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." I don't. I mean, I can try to tank it on my destroyer. It's just not.
I mean,
It's not fantastic.
Actually, this is now good news. My friend is massively lowering up on Warden. And because of that, I can use his Warden.
Oh, nice.
No, that's the issue though. If the issue is DPS for the final boss.
Oh, I see.
So, I mean, if the first and second boss can be cleared regularly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we don't need a warden for that one. It's just the final boss that you're having trouble with.
Yeah. So I think my biggest thing, and I made this statement to one of my raid members on my Tuesday raid, was that I don't really want the Tuesday and Thursday raids to have the same tanks. Because then if someone's not available, like goes on vacation, you then have 2 raids that have to get filled. Which is not really the best of options. So I really think we need to diversify and maybe even train new people to do it. I mean, I've been doing that time and time again, so it's kind of aggravating and irritating all at the same time. It's not like it's anybody in particular's fault. It's just you go through all the effort and then these people leave raids, and then you're left high and dry trying to figure like, hey, what are you gonna do next?
It feels like it should be people that you know for a fact are going to stay in the
raid. I think that's the hard part, right? Because now with the fact that we don't have a lot of CA members that are in raid, and I mean I know some people, but I'm not like super close to a lot of them. So like having people like that is kind of tricky. Like for me, Chobel is like someone who's like actually like he's like actually like a close friend of mine now. You know, from I met him via stream, and I've done a bunch of raids with him with a bunch of different clans and whatnot. So I was like, we're super close, but he's also the raid in my other raid, or sorry, the tank in my other raid. So I think it makes sense to try and diversify that if I can. I mean, even if it means that one of the raids has to become more of a learning raid, and we just run a tank through that just to learn the mechanics of it. I think that's a possibility.
I mean, I am okay with learning raids. I mean, learning raid. Like, let's face it, if we never have a learning raid, then we'll never have new people.
That is true.
I mean,
that is true. I think for me, I think there's with some of the raids that I've already been a part of, I think there's a fine line between learning and just straight frustration, because you've run it for so long and you haven't really made any further progress, and you just lost a tank when you try to teach type of thing. I think that's kind of the issue with some of these, but I think the fallback too is if we what people can we find if we don't already have them that we can try to teach all of that. And I mean, like you said, I think it does have some bearing on, hey, who can you trust to stay? Trust me, the person I thought would stay didn't stay, so there went that idea.
I would have thought like most of the desperate people would be the type of people that stay, like people that absolutely, positively need VT.
Yep.
I mean, VT.
Yeah.
But there's like two issues with that. One, the seal mats are both of the seal mats is trick. No, that's. I'm like saying both of the sealed mats are tradable now, purchasable from the marketplace.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you need the hearts to upgrade your weapon.
Correct.
Get the elemental accessories.
Yep, exactly.
Unless you're a free-to-play player who will willingly play 250 Hellion cores.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. That and like a shit ton of Blackstones and crap. It's just, it's crazy cost-wise. Absolutely crazy. I barely have healing cores to freaking buy anything. And I feel like I farm a lot, too.
I mean, I've been trying to like, actually, I'm poor Hellion cores. It's just finding new people and finding the people that were willing to, and I've play when I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, blinding people isn't really that difficult. That want to have a learning run because that game is more populated in a way.
Yeah. Well, the like Blade and Soul, besides like the R&R Discord, does not have a good way of recruiting players, and unfortunately, trolls live in that server. So I don't even post that server because of how many trolls you get from it.
Yeah.
So I just don't even bother. So I basically do the whole friend of a friend recruitment type thing where, hey, I have a friend who knows somebody who needs a raid, so that there's some type of like merit associated to that. But the buddy system, I guess.
I want to do something like that because I do know
it's just
people,
hard though.
but I don't like them.
yeah. I had one of those.
Though, I don't think they're gonna be idiots, and they'll probably do it right, but I don't like them.
Yeah, like I had. There was a clan that I raided with a bit, BTs and BTs like earlier on before I even joined CA.
Yeah.
And the original clan leader of that raid was raid leader for a bunch of raids, and I could not stand her guts. And unfortunately, at one point in time, she had tried to get into the R1 raid back when you guys were still running it. And after you guys left, I said, "Fuck that! I'm not running with you." And I didn't say it directly to her because she doesn't know, but I was like, "This is not happening. I know how many raids you sabotaged because you can't teach anybody." So I was like, "I'm just not dealing with you at all. I'm just gonna tell her raid's full and look for a new one." Because I'm just not dealing with the drama. And it was like, for me, it was like one of those voices it hurt me mentally to listen to it. It's like, I cannot go through a raid listening to this. This is not going to happen. Not going to happen.
All right. I need to get going, though.
No problem. But yeah, let me know what you want to do, and I'll help you with whatever as far as that goes. I think for now I think the list that I have now, I mean, at least it's something which we can play with, and then we can, micromanage it moving forward.
Because I need to actually see like how it's running right now.
Yep.
I mean, like you. Well, oh, wait, there was a question.
Yep.
So Thursday is now. Wait. Actually, never mind. I'll see you Thursday.
Okay. Take care.
All right. So peace out for now. I'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be here. Let's see. Get that. Power of memory.
I'll sleep when I'm dead, won't even catch my breath. And I know the weight of the world can crush my chest. I work till I'm dead, I work till I'm dead, I work till I'm dead, and then I'll do it all again. It's not because of that, it's not because of money. Works in my blood and I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. I'm gonna carry it, I'm gonna carry this, I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry it, I'm gonna carry this, I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I stand with both arms folded under my chest, cause I know I won't stop till I'm the last one left. Fighting till I'm dead, eating till I'm fed, never gonna stop to catch my breath. Fighting till I'm dead, I'll eat till I'm fed, and then I do it all again. It's not because of that, it's not because of money. Works in my blood and I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. I'm gonna carry it, I'm gonna carry this, I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry it, I'm gonna carry this, I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. I'm gonna carry this shit for my fucking back. Focus on my own, every day test me, nobody will ever fucking catch me. I live to be the best, this is all I got. I ignore the pain cause the pain will never stop. You're better than this, I'm better than this. You're better than this, I'm better than this. You're bigger than this, I'm better than this. You're bigger than this, I'm better than this. You're bigger than this, you're bigger than this. I'm better than this, I'm better than this. I'm better than this, I'm better than this. I'm better than this, I'm bigger than this. It's not because of that, it's not because of money. Works in my blood and I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. I kill cause I'm hungry. It's not because of that, it's not because of money.
you stare. I would watch you stare. Oh, but there's no one there. We can't figure this out. Put your feet down.
A time when we never let go, never let go. Ooh, we never let go.
We can't figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Follow your choice instead. Terrified of what's left. Remain upset until you break my mind. Until you break my heart.
Till you break my thought.
These sticks and stones will break.
They will break, they will break. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. No, no.
We're better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
now it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race. Like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know, but you have to step away from it.
But carry the world upon your shoulders. For I'm not the only one. How could you look behind now when everything is done? Oh, you carry the world upon your shoulders. For I'm not the only one. How could you look behind now when everything is done?
It's 205 on 92.3. Good slow songs still speak to me. No matter where I'm going, what I do, your frequency still comes. Blasting those speakers loud brings me back to you. Like a radio dial, you never change. It goes in and out, the song still plays. Like the memories of you and me running through my mind. You're my stereotype. got your window down cause you love that wind. Ease on over, turn the radio up. The static main tearing tough. In moments like these always bring me back to you.
Heyo.
The song still plays like the memories of you and me running through my mind. You're my stereotype. Like that radio dial never change. It goes in and out like that radio dial never change. It goes in and out. The song still plays like a memory of you and me
Sorry about that.
through my mind. You're my stereotype.
We've been doing this thing for a while now. Had our share of crazy ups and downs now. It's good to see we're still around now, ain't it, babe? Life has a way of drifting hearts apart now, but we just keep on keeping that spark now. If love can make it through the dark now, we found a way. 'Cause I still wanna kiss you in a crowd now, sing my love songs out loud now, let everyone that I know now know I wrote about you. Guess all I'm trying to say now is I don't wanna miss a day. So let me spend all my writing now with you. Girl, you're sure looking good now. If you let me hold you, I would now. Touch you just like I should now, with my fingertips. Got something running through my head now. Wanna sleep over on your side of the bed now. Got sweet things that I haven't said now on my lips. And I still wanna kiss you in a crowd now, sing my love songs out loud now, let everyone that I know now know I wrote about you. We may not have yesterday now, tomorrow's too far away now. Just let me spend all my right now with you. Yes, all I'm trying to say now is I don't wanna miss a day now. Just let me spend all my writing now with you. We've been doing this thing for a while now. Ain't it good to we're still around now.
Hey y'all, my name is Kelsey May, and if you've watched any of my past videos, you know I'm a huge Loretta Lynn fan. But another lady, Patty Loveless, who I also grew up very close to, is one of my biggest country music idols. And y'all have requested that I do her songs time and time again, so I thought I would do her most famous for y'all. It's called Never Leave Harlan Alive. In the deep dark hills of Eastern Kentucky, there's a place where I traced my bloodline, and it's there I read on a hillside gravestone, you'll never leave Harlan alive. Oh, my grandfather's dead across the Cumberland Mountains, where he took a pretty girl to be his bride. Said, won't you walk with me out of the mouth of this holler? Oh, we'll never leave Harlan alive. Where the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down about 3 in the day, and you fill your cup. Whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life just thinking of how to get away. No one ever knew there was coal in them mountains till a man from the northeast arrived, waving $100 bills. He said, I'll pay you for your minerals. But he never left Harlan alive. Grandma sold out sheep, and they moved out west to Pineville to a farm where big Richland River winds. And I bet they danced through a jig, and they laughed and sang a new song. Who said we never leave Harlan alive? But the times they got hard, and tobacco wasn't selling, and no granddad knew what he'd do to survive. He went and dug for Harlan coal and sent the money back to Grandma, but he never left Harlan alive. Where the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down about 3 in the day, and you fill your cup. Whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life digging coal from
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hey, Bubba. Interesting. Why? One second. Oh, weird. My thing shut down for some reason. That's weird. Let me reboot it real quick. For some reason, it hit shutdown mode, and I'm not sure what caused it. Probably from earlier when I had a unstable connection for some reason. Just gonna reboot it real quick, and then we can play your video. I didn't notice it actually had that message within the console. I literally just saw it. Yeah, nice. Snipe that too. Okay. Take two. I have the power to skip it. It's all good. Yeah, people, like, when you have that posted, people come in here and do that shit all the time. It's kind of annoying, but then again, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, good stuff.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like
Oh, I never bothered asking Weir yesterday, but do you know which boss drops Shadow Earring? Yeah. From TT? I wonder if it's the boss one then. My freaking ping has been super spiky lately with all this server crap that's been going on. This makes me very depressed. I even had lagged so bad earlier, I don't know if you saw on Crimson Alliance Discord earlier, that when I was doing Warlock through the HSS like event dungeon for the dummy dungeon, my computer completely froze up. Like I could move my character and everything, but I couldn't use any of my skills or anything like that. And at times, like even the character stopped moving. And then I lost all my loot because it timed out. So I was like, well, that's always fun. And then eventually it loaded out enough that I could actually finish the dungeon, but could only get the final chest that dropped. That was depressing.
She works the nights by the water. She's gone astray, so far away from her father's daughter. She just wants a life for a baby. All on her own, no one will home. She's got to save him.
Finished the daily event shit, so now I have to just do all my endgame dungeons now. For scales and money and whatnot.
So
Give me a second, I'll be right back.
Steadily your workflow, everything you know, so you're not stop, no time for your dear. Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep all the gold. When he looks in her eyes, he don't know he is safe when she says, ooh, love, no one ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. No
I am back. Ready to go.
Around you, just dry your eyes.
Right from the start, he lured me in, took me to places I've never been. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. He might have bent me, but I didn't break. He rearranged the map I made, but I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. Now am I crazy? Why can no one understand that I'll never find a better man? I'm just imagining a life without my baby, and I know this life ain't meant to be lived without him. I know this life ain't meant to be lived without him. I
I just can't see my life going on without you. Now it's so crazy, you know I understand. I'll never find a better man. Oh no, 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 no. I'm just imagining a life without my baby. And I know this life ain't meant to be lived without.
Yeah, didn't have my stomach for that.
I just wanna be alone tonight. I just wanna take a little breather. Cause lately all we do is fight. And every time it cuts me deeper. Cause something changed, you were acting so strange. And it's taking its toll on me. It's safe to say that I'm ready to let you leave. Without you, I'm living up a little more every day. Without you, I'm seeing myself so differently. I didn't wanna leave it then, but it all worked out in the end. And I watched you walk away when I never wanted to say I'm fine without you. Called you up 'cause it's been long enough. And you said that you were so much better. We have done a lot of growing up. We were never meant to be together. 'Cause something changed, you were acting so strange. And it's taking its toll on me. It's safe to say that I'm ready to let you leave. Without you, I live it up a little more every day. Without you, I'm seeing myself so differently. I didn't wanna leave it then, but it all worked out in the end. And I watched you walk away when I never wanted to say I'm fine without you. No, without you. Without you. Without you. 'Cause something changed, you were acting so strange, and it's taking its toll on me. It's safe to say that I'm ready to let you leave. Without you, I live it up a little more every day. Without you, I'm seeing myself so differently. I didn't wanna leave it then, but it all worked out in the end. And I watched you walk away when I never
I guess I should start doing call drag though. I haven't done it for a long time, but I do think I need to get the other gem though, or at least an improvement version of that. What the fuck, guys? Seriously? The fuck do people not know this mech by now? It's not even difficult to do. Just have to stay in live and jump in the circle after the wrath. So dumb. That hurt a little bit. That hurt like a mofo. I don't even think I'll make it to server in order to be able to get this dungeon. It needs to be like a 5-second load, and it's gonna be longer than that because the server's so freaking slow. These servers kill me inside. It's gonna be just long enough. Look at this. Look at this crap. I don't know why this game loads so slow now. Unfortunately, you can't enter cold drag from F8, so I had to get screwed out of running that, right? What a piece of crap. People like AFKing in freaking dungeons and not allowing me to get back to server. Fun. That sucked. That was unfortunate. YOLO BT group. Because why the hell not?
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words you remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. Take back everything, lose it all, lose it all, lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Let your body go, let your body go, let your body go and move to the rhythm. much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? Say the words to remember. I know I messed it up with every other guy. I swear you're different, this time I'm gonna try. We can stop as a few, just let go of the past. Yeah, I don't get it 'cause I don't judge it like that. You just love me to pieces, got a lot of desire. You try to make me feel like being human's wrong. You got a lot to say about me and my past. Well, I don't get it 'cause I don't judge it like that. You got me running other places in my mind, in my mind. How could you even say I never tried, never tried? And you're acting like I've been around with every single guy. You got me running other places in my mind, yeah. And you're acting like I've been around with every single guy. You got me running other places in my mind,
I don't know. This that group doesn't have a tank and doesn't look like they're gonna get one, so I guess I'll pass on that for the time being.
How could you even say I never tried, never tried? And you're acting like I've been around with every single guy. You got me running other places in my mind, yeah. And you're acting like I've been around with every single guy. You got me running other places.
Damn, these inflated characters now though, this is just freaking silly insane. You definitely cannot judge anybody by Hungman level anymore. It's just, it's a landslide and it's totally random for gear. Maybe I'll just make my own dungeon here. Let's see.
Try harder than you fight. You might be lost like sunshine in the night. You know what they say, life's about to end. If you wanna be someone, you don't have to wait. You just have to shake.
try harder than you fight. You might be lost like sunshine in the night. You know what they say, life's about to end. If you wanna be someone, you don't have to wait. You just have to try harder than you fight. You might be lost like sunshine in the night. You know what they say, life's about to end. If you wanna be someone, you don't have to wait. What's the trick? I wish I knew. I'm so done with thinking through all the things I could have been, and I know you wanted to. All it takes is that one look you do, and I run right back to you. Cross the line, and it's time to say F you. What's the point in saying that when you know how I'll react? You think you can just take it back, but shit just don't work like that. The drug that I'm addicted to, and I want you so bad. Guess I'm stuck with you, and that's that. 'Cause when it all falls down, then whatever, when it doesn't work out for the better, if it just ain't right, and it's time to say goodbye. When it all falls down, when it all falls down, all the way, all the way. You're the drug that I'm addicted to, and I want you so bad, but all the line. Cause when it all falls down, then whatever, when it doesn't work out for the better, if it just ain't right, and it's time to say goodbye. When it all falls down, when it all falls down. Where we from? I don't know. Say what hurts the most. Oh, I tried. Say you
Oh crap.
you take it personal.
Why do I always whiff on that skill? Ugh. That's gonna stun my damage by quite a bit. That was painful. Probably isn't doing more damage than most of these people, but whatevs.
We get lost, we can get high, because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. When other things go wrong, I take a shot for you. Give me love, give me love, never let you go. Give me love, give me love, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love.
Damn, it's super windy outside right now. I can hear the window, or the wind against my window. Oh, that hurt.
Start to reach for the sky and nothing's falling down. Everybody knows how the story goes, but fairy tales have been lying to me. Every time I try, you just run and hide. Now I'm finally feeling free. Tell me, can you see me now? Why have I survived the crowd? Wouldn't know that make it out. Your broken world. No, you thought you tore me down. I'm not giving up now. You know. So tell me, can you see me now? Rising above, and nothing's stopping me now. Now I know my fate, and they won't fail me now. Thanks for showing me all that I am about. Everybody knows how the story goes, but fairy tales have been lying to me. Every time I try, you just run and hide. Now I'm finally feeling free. Tell me, can you see me now? Why have I survived the crowd? Wouldn't know that make it out. Your broken world. No, you thought you tore me down. I'm not giving up now. You know. So tell me, can you see me now? Rising above, and nothing's
God damn it. Piece of crap. We have 2 rings, I should have easily been able to get that. I don't think I have enough DPS to actually burn this thing before all the orbs spawn. Can try though. It's gonna be pretty close, I think. I'm gonna be short by like a few mil. Damn, 7 mil. Try to debate if I'm gonna go on my soul fighter at all to do the same stuff I just did. I think I probably will. But I need the scales pretty bad. On all characters, but especially all the ones that I've been trying to level up. So let's change characters. Okay. See how this goes. I also need a set of weeklies too, and I'm debating if I should just stay on server for a little bit and see if I can find one today. Or if I should just run it after raid tomorrow, maybe. It's like, what's my AP at? How high can I get my AP? 1170. Should be able to get higher, but I think I would have to get my points out of here. I can get exactly that with the other crap necklace. Oh, the irony of that. The fake out AP swap. I'll wait a few minutes and see if I get lucky and someone posts a dungeon. Otherwise I might get off for the night. Multi-run? No, I don't want a multi-run. I may not need help, but it wouldn't hurt to still look though. I have a possible, but I don't know if he can actually make it or not. So, no definitive right now, but I do have a possible. Not the easiest role to fill, I swear. Because, like, no one knows how to tank it, and, like, no one wants to tank it.
You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You got me like. You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You got me like. You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You cut my heart in a million pieces. Damn, why you gotta be so heartless? Why you gotta be so heartless? You got me like. Silent nights recalling you, a souvenir of what it could be. Pieces of my mind are yours. I forgot that wasn't missing. I pretend that we are okay.
So that's almost 10 skills in that. That's not too bad. Not bad, not bad. I think at this rate, the getting A9 on this character would be a dream. I don't think I'll like ever have the mats to do it anytime soon. I think I'm better getting off bracelet on some of my main ults that I use for different BTs and whatnot. I think that DPS improvement would be significant for each of those characters. Whoa, okay. That's some bullshit. These freaking circles around melee range are just awful. Like, there's no good spot to stand for any of them. I think right now, like both characters, I think my damage is super spiky on both. I need to work on that. What the hell's wrong here? That's some bullshit. What the fuck is wrong with people? Dazing? Seriously? Why are all these groups so fucking trappy? Like, oh my god. Yeah. So I need to figure out how I can run those characters through Circle of Sundering to get the currency. So I'm gonna have to run it on my gunner and my FM. My FM I think is gonna be freaking painful. Yeah, I think unfortunately to do Circle of Sundering like effectively, I think I would need to get more gear on those characters though. To actually do it. I'm trying to figure if I even want to do that or not. I don't know if I want to gear those characters up that much. Oh, true. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that was you. Scrub. I don't know if I've ever randomly got into one of your dungeons, or maybe you got into mine on purpose. Either way. Glad to know that you joined this trap run. Shit. BNS Muni. He's in stream right now. He's also in my group right now for this dungeon. No, I am not used to using QE at all. I freaking hate it. It's so not natural for me at all. And I mean, active blocking for me is still something that I have to get used to. I think the biggest thing for me is I hate memorizing rotations. So like, I think that's one of the reasons why I tend to not do it. But like when I memorize rotations, like I actually use like active blocking for it. But if I don't memorize rotations, I end up not doing it at all. I play more like evasive, like, you know, like sidestepping attacks type stuff. But yeah, no, I am not used to Q&E at all, and I haven't really gotten a lot more used to it. I mean, I do use it every now and then, but not as much as I probably should do. Well,
My mama don't like you and she likes everyone. And I never lied to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on, and now I know I've been sleeping on my own. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself. My mama don't like you and she likes everyone. And I never lied to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on, and now I know I've been sleeping on my own. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself.
and Zhao, have you ever seen a Force Master tank Hive Queen? Ever? I mean, I've definitely seen Force Masters tank RK, but I've never seen a Force Master tank Hive Queen.
'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself.
searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into alive. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
Oh, what BS! I totally whiffed. Oopsies. They froze me while I was in the bubble. That was weird. I actually like went like I was standing on the floor when that happened. That was very weird. It was almost like graphic glitchy as far as how that happened. I don't think I've ever seen it before in my life. There we go. Sweet. Got it. Okay. More skills for me. Now, if I do SSM real quick.
Searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me. My enemies have tried every possibility. Ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly. I can fly. I can fly. I can fly.
Looks pretty dead, so I think I'm gonna get off for the night, guys. But I'll be on tomorrow for DC and event dungeoning, plus I have BT raid at 8:20 Eastern. So I will see you all there, and best of luck with your nights, guys. Have a good one.